What's up, future shredlords? Welcome back down to the fingers. We got a couple questions today. So essentially, the first one is this person was showing me this cool pentatonic lick, and they were calling it the minor pentatonic, right? But they're like, when I was playing it, it didn't make sense to me. They're like, play these series of whole steps and then this whole step configuration. We've looked at this ourselves, right? Right, but in this case, it's 3 notes and then 2, right? And then again, repeated over 3 octaves. And the thing is that they're like, well, the minor, it starts up here. Right, so that minor third, that's messing me up because we're starting off with a whole step here, this sort of configuration, really this major third configuration. So the thing is like, it's the pentatonic scale, right? And it has 5 positions. The major position are Ionian, Dorian, Phrygian, Mixolydian, and Aeolian, which is the minor, obviously. But when I'm down here, see, I can bend the string with the Evertune and it doesn't actually move out of tune. After all these years of having this guitar, I still do it and it never shows up. That's pretty funny. Anyways, you get the idea here is that I can start stringing these scale systems together. Obviously, like the major is going to flow right into Dorian, into Phrygian, into Mixolydian, into Aeolian. Right, so that's one of the big sort of reveals, if you will, for a lot of guitar players when they start to connect them together like that. But more importantly is you can use like, you know, scale fragments or what I call scale mechanics in this case, where you're doing this configuration, you're basing it on 3 octaves, right? So there's a whole bunch of theory there too that you're supposed to actually know. So it's 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 5, 6 in the key of G major, right? Because we're starting here at 3rd fret. So it's still the pentatonic scale, but in this case, it would be a major pentatonic, right? And the thing is you can extrapolate from that little chunk there. You're like, so it's 1, 2, 3, 5, 6. What if I went 2, 3, 5, right? 6, 1. That would be the next 2 positions, right? Dorian and Phrygian. Next position would be Phrygian and Mixolydian. And so on and so forth, right? So now I've taken that one simple piece and reverse engineered, if you will, so it actually fits with the scale. So I'm like, if I'm playing a major scale here, I can be like, right, I can sort of know exactly where I am and then jump right up. That right there is sort of the biggest hurdle people need to get over, is the idea that you're like, okay, here's the 1st degree, here's the 2nd degree, 3rd degree. Because later on, you'd be like, I want to play an arpeggio there first. Okay, so you're going to combine 2 elements together now, this arpeggio, the minor 7, into the pentatonic. Okay, so the big takeaway here is that the theory sort of unifies what you're doing. When people show you a lick or a trick, if you can't actually sort of make heads or tails of it, how it fits into a major scale, a minor scale. And remember, a minor scale is just the 6th degree of a major scale. There's, again, these sort of like sequential theory hurdles where you come to a certain awareness, if you will, about some basic truths about music and the guitar and all the rest of it. And nobody can actually give you that, the keys to the kingdom, if they will. You have to kind of earn them, right? And the big one is just kind of doing what I did there. Be like, okay, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? right? So that's just 3 notes per string, your standard sort of like, whole step pattern kind of deal, moving through Ionian into Dorian, Phrygian, that's Lydian, that's Phrygian, Dorian, into Ionian again, right? Back to the start. That right there is obviously huge. And of course, now you have 2 scales. You have this 3. Classical method, just ascending using a major scale, but vertically. The pentatonic. And of course, 3 notes per string. Okay, those 3 are going to be the big ones. But of course, you can see they all overlap, starting at the same position. Right? So there's 3 choices. I'm like, that's me just combining 2 systems together. The pentatonic scale and 3 notes per string are just the major modes. Okay, so there you go. That's the big reveal, and I hope that explains it, is that look at what you're playing, then they do it again. Level 1 is just like, that's a 3-octave idea. Nice, it did the 5th, but still it came out cool. Right, so there's this octave here, and then that one there, and of course you just move to the next octave, same pattern, next octave. And of course, just ending on the root again to sort of close the idea down. So that right there is this level 1. The next one's going to be like, oh, look, that's a major scale. Really, if I were to play it all the way through there. And then the pentatonic scale. Okay, so it's basically a major pentatonic ascending in 3 octaves. And then the last step is going to be, of course, just you being able to now increment that up through the various positions, moving to the next one. You like, there's the next piece. Nice, I can't get them. Right, and so on and so forth. You're just going to move through each one of the positions. So it'd be starting on 1, then starting on 2, so it'd be 2, 3, and 5. Then it'd be 3, 5, and 6, of course, and then 5, 6, and 1. That one's particularly juicy right there. It's tricky, I'm not gonna lie, but that's just it, especially when the mic's in your face. But the point being here is that it's a great exercise, and it starts to show you how you take this one sort of simple idea and expand on it massively so that you get the understanding. You're like, oh, look, I'm in a major scale. So effective when I cough afterwards, but yeah, I had a big blast off the bong earlier, so sue me. But you got the idea there. See, I was just messing around with those 2 ideas, and I can put it right into the mix immediately and just blues it up a little bit. So, but it starts from a position of understanding first, then you can start to layer it in the larger system, right? In this case, G major. Right, but if I moved up to A major, right? So, I mean, not much is changing, if you will. It's just the starting position. That's why it's good to sort of see things in terms of, the scale degrees and whatnot. So you're like 1, 2, 3, those are the scale degrees, Ionian, Dorian, and Phrygian, then Mixolydian and Aeolian, which gets me to the next one. Obviously, this person was also showing me a video that they were just doing an ascending sort of diatonic arpeggio sequence. Like pretty basic stuff, really, and it was based around the CAGED position, right? So like there's this sort of C there, and effectively I can move up to the D with the arpeggio, right? Of course, E minor. Which one's that? F major, right? G major, nice. A minor. Close enough. We'll leave it on an open-ended piece. But you get the idea there. First step is, of course, just the C major scale, ascending up. Right, then I have two choices. I have the C-type chord or the A-type chord. Now, what would the next one be, right? That's the big one right there, because that's 5, 1, 3. Right, so you'd be like 5, 1, flat 3. Then you're like, okay, now listen, you can go look that stuff up on the internet, but of course, what I just did there by being like, okay, I have to take this major arpeggio and convert it, you're like, the inversion we're at is at the 5th is the note we're starting on, so it's the second inversion, right? That's 5, 1, 3. That gives me 5, 1, flat 3, 5, 1, flat 3, 5. There's the 1 again, right? With my little extra sauciness thrown in there. So those types of exercises are crucial, but of course I can then just start using that immediately for the next one, right? If I'm starting off here. Now, it's kind of a clumsy arpeggio or whatever it is, but still, if you're just starting out, and I'm thinking about that one right now, I'm just like, obviously I need to practice that a lot more, but you get the idea there. The real practice value is you figuring it out to a certain degree where you're like, oh, wow, I can now start to use the diatonic scale and climb up. And that was the thing that they didn't understand. And of course, you can start taking it to an extreme, right? If I start here, if that's the chord, well, that's the... Right, so that's F Lydian when you're thinking about it from the lowest string. That's going to be Locrian. Right, so, and you're like, Locrian, what are you talking about, you idiot? I'm starting from the 7th degree here, right? There's 1. So the Locrian scale starts with 2 of these and 2 of these, and all I have to do is just displace the one between the G and the B string. That's obviously, yes, Lydian into mixed Lydian would be next. Right, so once you sort of kind of figure out where you are in the 3 notes per string system, you're good to go. You're like, this F major has this C major scale right in there. Right, so that right there is absolutely crucial. So now you've got the chord, the arpeggio, right? And then, of course, you know the other positions. Right, so that kind of stuff is obviously killer sort of practice material, so to speak, because now you have multi-dimensional sort of practice goals rather than just being like, I'm going to work everything from the low E string. You're like, here's the 6th degree of the G major scale. 6th degree is minor. That's what it looks like if I'm using the C-type chord from CAGED, right? I was going the other way. Right, so you get the idea there is that which one am I going to use? Am I going to combine them together? What would that look like? You know what I mean? If you're like, if I start here, and you're like, this one's, I got to jump up here to the 12th fret, and then come back down. Right, so putting those two pieces together is going to be a million times more beneficial to you in a practice situation than just sitting there running through a bunch of technical exercises. There's like all the elements there. You're figuring things out. You're interested in what you're doing. You're sort of mathing out the theory part of it. it just, all the elements come together. I don't know how else, like I've done it many different ways, the practicing thing, and this is the most effective because it actually teaches you to be a musician rather than just somebody who's a riff factory that just spits out stuff that they got on videos or the internet or whatever else. Right? I knew it was the major pentatonic right away. Right? Because of the configurations of notes. Right? So there's that. But I mean, the other thing is of course, when I was doing it, I was like 1, 2, 3, 5, 6. Now, all of a sudden, you see what I'm getting at there? You're like, okay, I'll use this fragment from the pentatonic, but when I get to here, because I'm set up with my pinky, why not do this minor arpeggio into this? Right kind of sequence. That was me obviously doing a major 7 at Locrian here. Right? That's Locrian. Every time I start the Locrian position somewhere, like here, if I'm starting here, there's the major scale. Locrian. Because I know it's going to be for arpeggios. I know what it's going to be for chords to a certain degree. Once you start incorporating that little shift between the B and the G string, everything makes sense. But it takes work, obviously, but I think you're getting the big picture here now is that it's not just about playing the arpeggio sequence. It's not just being like, oh, it's a diatonic scale. It's not just, the chord tonalities. Oh, look, I'm at the 3rd degree minor. Oh, 4th degree major. 5th major. 6th. Diminished. Right. The thing with the diminished there, again, that's a classic, is I'm ascending using minor thirds, right? Minor third, tritone, minor third. That's a minor third, tritone. Oh, changing it up there with the major. That's a classic sort of Bach thing, but, you'll get there eventually. But that's what I'm talking about. In my mind, I can hear that other note and be like, if I play that one, it'll give me this kind of an ending or this kind of a sound or whatever it is. And when I do it the other way, it gives me this kind of sound. And when I want to sort of mix and match my ideas, because I'm like, I want to start off with a pentatonic. If I start like this, I'm kind of stuck in this position, but if all of a sudden I'm like, I get all the way up to the minor pentatonic position, and now I have a whole bunch more choices. You get my idea there is that some of them are like used to basically get you to a new position. This is climbing up the fretboard, and it sort of naturally climbs right up to that Aeolian position with the pentatonic. Right, so that's an incredibly useful piece of information, right? And then the last bit is of course, is just you starting to mix and match. You get all the way up here. Using diminished, right? Instead of just doing the classic sort of... Maybe getting... You can start to get more exotic with it too. Just experiment with the sounds, even just the basic ones that I'm showing you right now, which is going to be way more important over the long run. Obviously, the major scales, the harmonic minor is very important, and the pentatonic scales are all very important. But there's all the big pieces, right? As I'm doing the pentatonic thing, I can keep building them up. Oh, that's kind of cool. That one. But notice the huge stretch there. That's me basically doing each one climbing up. For the starting position, you'd use 3 octaves to basically connect each one together. Of course, you can ascend one, move up to the next position, descend, and do on over and over and over again until you get sick of it. But again, there's this whole secondary section. It's one thing to sit there and practice and be like, look, Mom, I'm doing the minor pentatonic scale. But when you get to like your music school and you're like, check it out, He's like, that's a cool major idea. And you're like, what? Right? And then all of a sudden, your whole worldview gets tipped on its ear. So remember, take this information and try to orient it around an actual grid. The major scale is obviously our ground zero. Then you're like, when I was at the second degree there, I knew that I had diminished. Right? So instead of doing the Dorian mode or the pentatonic, I decided to do diminished instead, and I used either the symmetrical mesh. In this case, I did the triad. That cool 6 in there, right? Oh, those God slides. I'm weak. It's because I haven't been practicing as much, but 1/2 fret every time. 1/2 step, I should say. Half fret, step, whatever. Curbing it. So there it is. That's the lesson. Right. Nails it. 20 minutes. And of course, so much more. Not just figure the stuff out. What is that? Take it to the extreme. It's a pentatonic scale. What are the scale degrees? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I should say 1, 2, 3, 5, 6. Nails it. Right. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1. Right. And of course, so on and so forth. And what you can do is to start building up that compendium of information. You're like, there's this one, and there's this one. And there you go. And you're like, keep going. And you can just become the shred lord. But then, of course, you're like, oh, what happens when I move to the next position and the next position, right? And so on and so forth. And just keep doing that every single time. And then all of a sudden, you're like, I have a pentatonic scale that goes up and down like this. And then I have the same one that goes on an angle like this. This one's for noodling around in the position. This one's to get me from A to B. Get out of my face and practice right now until you can do that.